Day of Planting, San Isidro Day, and also honoring all the people who participate on making this possible for all the people and the future generations to come and gather and enjoy this beautiful place.
Began with the designation of the Rio Grande Natural Area by Congress in 2006. The designation encompasses a quarter-mile on both sides of the Rio Grande from the Alamosa Refuge for 32 miles south of the New Mexico state line. It's a truly extraordinary place. I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank our host organizations, the Salazar Rio Grande del Norte Center, Sangre de Cristo National Heritage Area, San Luis Valley Great Outdoors, and the San Luis Valley Field Office of the Bureau of Land Management. One of our good partners with the Sangre de Cristo National Heritage Area, the National Park Service, wasn't able to be here today, but they did send their best wishes. The Rio Grande Natural Area is a special place, and I am humbled by your invitation. And now for the solo. While I'm not able to participate in person, please know I am celebrating with you in spirit to welcome in the Rio Grande Natural Area, which happens to be also located within the boundaries of the Sangre de Cristo National Heritage Area. That's from Mike Reynolds, the National Park Service Regional Director. Now, I'd like to introduce someone who I think everyone here is familiar with. Ken Salazar, who worked as the Senator and Interior Secretary to achieve this designation for the Rio Grande Natural Area. Ken, it's your turn.
Thank you very, very much. Can you hear me? Donald, can you hear me? A little bit louder. All right, let's hear it to the dancers. Lanza Azteca de Naoek. It's not every day we get the governor and the United States Senator here. It's appropriate to celebrate them with our Native American heritage. we're going to do a blessing. Let me have the governor, Senator Hickenlooper, up here. We're going to do a blessing. We can't do this without our wonderful leadership here in the valley. Mitch Jarvis, County Commissioner, Chairman, Conejos County. Steve Romero, Cleve Simpson, Colorado Senator, wonderful Republican. Donald Valdez, a Democrat, wonderful Democrat.
I'm going to be here for them. Be here. All of them who are here to serve the country, to serve the state, to serve the people, to serve themselves and all the families. May God bless you, give you lots of energy to wake up early in the morning and to sleep good at night. You guys need it.
Thank you very much. Let's hear it for Azteca, the Nahuac. The Nahuac. Okay. Where's Joseph Barros? Joseph, stand up. County Commissioner, Conejos County, extraordinaire. So, just to give you a little bit of sense of timing here, we're going to have a few speakers, starting with Governor Hickenlooper. We're going to... he was a governor! Governor Polis, Senator Hickenlooper, Senator Cleve Simpson, Representative Donald Valdez, Mitch Jarvis, only because we're on the Conejos County side of the river. He goes before Steve Romero, who's Costilla County's on the other side of the river. Even though Governor and Senator, the Brownie Hills there are all in Costilla County and part of the newest CPW wildlife area. Is that right? San Luis Hills. San Luis Hills. I'm glad you changed the name. And where's our fearless leader from Adams State? Cheryl Lovell. Please stand. Recognize her. Education and water, huh? It's all about. And Kathy Cook, where are you? All right. Bureau of Land Management. So, couple of quick things just at the outset before we hear from the governor. So it's a very beautiful and wonderful area. And many of us have worked on it for a very long time, back in my Senate days with the natural area, and then later on with the center, which my family and Adams State, Cleve Simpson and others have been involved with at Adams State. That center has tried to spearhead the collaboration among the agencies and most importantly, the people on both sides of the river. And so I want to recognize a fearless leader who's had a tough health challenge this year, but she's getting stronger every day, Rio de la Vista. I also want to give a shout out to my family members who are here, because without them, this would not be happening. So the patriarch of the family, Leroy Salazar, who's a founder of Adams State, with my young little sister who flew all the way from Austin just to be here today, Elaine. And then what will follow after here, we're going to take off probably 12:30, even though there's mariachis for an hour and there's burritos. So you might want to stay here a little while. But we're going to go over to the Lovatos Bridge with the senator, and my sister-in-law, who knows more about the history and archaeology of this entire area, is going to lead Senator Hickenlooper on a short hike down the gorge where the chokecherry orchard used to be. So Loretta Mitson, please stand up so we can recognize you for all you do for this place. I was going to make a joke, but I won't. And last and not least, my brother Elliot, who helps lead water issues at the Conejos Water Conservancy District. Elliot, where are you? And his partner, Gail. Thank you. And so, quick word just before I introduce Governor Polis. This place, the Sangre de Cristo National Heritage Area, which is what Hugh Halleck now chairs, was a vision and a dream that I shared with the Congressman John Salazar, who sponsored the bill in the U.S. House of Representatives, who I sponsored it in the United States Senate, and then Barack Obama signed it into law in 2009. So, John, thank you for your leadership in getting that done. It's what they call an effective congressperson. They get it done. They get it done. Let me, at this point, I'm going to introduce my good friend Jared. It used to be that these two counties here, Costilla and Conejos, were the forgotten counties of the state of Colorado. In the 90s, these two counties were among the 4 poorest counties in the United States of America. And yet somehow the people of this valley, the people of this county, recognize the richness of the spirit of the people. As a former governor used to say, Roy Romer, it's a place that may be poor in material things, but it's very rich in spirit. And so today, no matter what your party is, there are, I know Republicans here because I know who you are. And I know there are Democrats here because I also know who you are. And then I know there are some of you who are in the middle, and some of you who are left, and some of you who are right. But a person that I have worked with since 2000, when he decided to give of his heart to public service, he's a very young man. I think he's 23 years old or so. Elected statewide to the State Board of Education, went on to work in a very effective manner representing the state of Colorado, the 2nd Congressional District of the U.S. House of Representatives, and for the last 2.5 years has led us through some of the most existential crises that any of us have ever seen in our lifetime, including dealing with this pandemic, who has taken many of our community members here in the San Luis Valley. So I am very proud of him, and very proud that he chose to come here to Conejos and Costilla County to celebrate with all of you, because he cares about all of you, no matter what your position is or your party is. He's a governor for all of the state of Colorado, the great state of Colorado, the great governor of the state of Colorado, Jared Polis.
I think thanks to the Salazar clan, Conejos and Costilla are the 2 most influential and powerful counties in the entire state. And it's really at the center of how we build a public land strategy that meets all of our goals, that helps farmers get by and meets our goals for ag, that meets our conservation goals to make sure that our soil and our lands are here and our forests for the next generation, that meets our recreation goals, both for our own fun, hunting, fishing, rafting, hiking, but also for economic development in communities to attract people that are willing to spend money in local restaurants and local stores and local hotels. That's what our public lands mean to us. They're part of our identity. They're also the key economic driver for now, and if we handle them right, for the future, for the next generation, for the next generation. That's really a vision that unites Republicans, Democrats, left, right. It's who we are in Colorado. It's who we are in the San Luis Valley. And I can't think of a better place to be anywhere in our state on Public Lands Day to help commemorate the significance of our public lands at this dedication and right here in the San Luis Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Polis. Make our day being here with the former governor of Colorado, former mayor of Denver, former owner of the Wine Coop Brewery, great beer, and now United States Senator for the state of Colorado. There's only been about 1,800 of them in history, and we are so proud to have John Hickenlooper as our wonderful friend and brother here in the San Luis Valley celebrating with us today. Let's give it up for John Hickenlooper.
So, can you hear?
quite working, but I'm trying to get it into my throat. First, it is always a challenge, but a great honor to follow Jared Polis, and I would argue that he took on some of the greatest challenges that any governor has seen close to a century, and dealt with it all with honesty, transparency. He was able to motivate not just his cabinet and his senior staff, but all the people around the entire state, the entire apparatus, all the personnel of the state were focused like, well, I put myself down a little bit, but I would say like never before at a time when we most needed that focus. So he deserves another hand. You guys got to lobby him. I haven't heard him announce his re-election yet, so you've got to make sure that we get another 4 years out of him. So, you know, at some point, let's make sure you clap. There should be clapping when I say something like that. Also, I want to give because you got to recognize a little more slowly, there are all the Salazars that are here, and I feel a debt to all of them. But I want to give a special mention to John Salazar, because he was, when I first got elected governor, he was our Commissioner of Agriculture, our Secretary of Agriculture. Did such a remarkable job. He took time away from his own farm and ranch, worked for the public good all across the state. He went everywhere, and really, in the true Salazar fashion, gave of himself. Plus, he taught my son Teddy how to ride a horse and how to brand a calf when he was like 10 years old. And Teddy's going off to college this year, so he got him off on the right hook, as it were. All right, Public Lands Day, and I'll be brief. I know it's a little bit warm, although it's actually pretty close to perfect day for this. 2 weeks ago, I was on a boat on the Rio Grande in Laredo, Texas. And I say that just because I was doing an inspection, an immersion in how the border, once this river goes south a little ways, it becomes a symbol, right? It becomes a dividing line for a large part of the boundary between this country and Mexico. And in that sense, it has, I think, great importance in helping us resolve the issues around immigration. So many ways that we become divided around something where the solutions are so obvious, right? We need a border that works, but we also have to recognize that all the people that are in this country, and I'm sure there's going to be people on different sides of the argument, but we need employment now. We need workers, and we certainly don't want to disrupt our communities all across the country. We have immigrants everywhere, and some of them don't have papers, some of them do have papers. We need to find a system that resolves the conflict. And one way to do that is to get people to work together better, to not worry about whether there's an R or a D after their name, where they are committed to a communal good. And one of the best ways to get that muscle back in shape, because it's been atrophied over the last couple decades. One way to get back into shape is on projects like this, right? You bring all the different groups, the sponsoring groups that went into making this natural area, and you look at how many Republicans and how many Democrats, how many different people all come together, go to the meetings. That's building the muscle. So as important as it is to have this natural area and the options and the opportunities to teach the next generations about the heritage of the area and what it means, but it also builds community. And I think that's almost more important than the actual natural area itself. So in that, I know that Ken's worked on this since 2006. I first heard about it, I guess in 2008 he talked to me about it. But it has been one of those things long in the making, which means we just built that much more muscle. And one of the great things about Ken Salazar is he has again and again taken on those big problems. I first met him in 1991 or 1992. He hadn't even run for Attorney General then, and he was working for La Tierra, the land here to the north that was being fenced off. And we did a fundraiser in the basement of my bar. Now, that's not as seedy as it sounds. We had the writer John Nichols come up from Santa Fe, who wrote the Milagro Beanfield War, and talk about some of these ways that people get divided and how to bring people together. Sometimes a simple irrigation ditch can be a way of uniting a community. Sometimes a river, a natural area can unite a community, and then we can make the more difficult decisions. What you need often there is great leaders, and one thing we've been very blessed to have in the state is a plenitude of
Salazars. But at the top of the family tree of public service right now, there's no one higher than Ken Salazar. And I know that everybody here is going to support him in whatever that next endeavor is, and make sure that he knows he always has that strong, that groundswell of support from Colorado. So Ken, I give it back to you. Thank you for everything.
You know, both Governor Polis and Senator Hickenlooper have talked about the community coming together. And I'm going to call on our Republican senator. And I say that because I love him. For those of you who don't know, I supported him, voted for him. Come up here, Cleve. But as he's coming up here, I want to say this in particular to Mitch Jarvis. We're holding the hearings on the Sangre de Cristo National Heritage Area. There were a group of people from Costilla County and Conejos County who went to Washington to testify in front of the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee, and I chaired the meeting. And we had wonderful people from Costilla County, but I will always remember my good friend and our good friend, my father's good friend, Bobby Bagwell, because he was a great mover in making this happen. And Mitch, that's a kind of support and effort to achieve the greatness of this vision here that we're going to need from Conejos County. And Steve, not to leave you out for Costilla County, but you know, that little old San Luis, which is the second oldest settlement in Colorado because the first one is right over here. You know, we need to do some things like to designate San Luis as a National Historic District, you know, as part of our tourism and all of our outdoor recreation economy. But a man who has spent his life as a rancher, farmer, deep roots in the San Luis Valley, who knows more about water than anybody except my brother Leroy, and who is doing a wonderful job as our senator up in Denver, Cleve Simpson. Senator.
Thank you, Kent. And I'm going to have to learn how to talk like Senator Hickenlooper with my hands, because I'm not usually good at doing that. Just some brief comments about what a pleasure it is to be here today. The natural area is really a reflection of what the community can do when it comes together. And the Rio Grande Basin really is notorious for collaborative efforts and really making some big strides and some big improvements. And the natural area is certainly one of those. So it's been an honor and a privilege to be part of this conversation. Again, it's been mentioned it was signed into law in 2006. Took about 10 years to put together the management plan for the natural area, and then since then to get to even to this point where we have some real recognition of the natural area and highlight its importance to southern Colorado and to Conejos and Costilla counties. Pretty eventful. So I just close with, if you've been in the state capitol inside the rotunda, there's a quote from Thomas Hornsby Farrell, a Colorado State Poet Laureate, about here is a land where life truly is written in water, and this is a great example of it. So with that, I appreciate being here today and enjoy the beautiful weather.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Senator Cleve Simpson. Representative Donald Valdez, he'll come up here on his way up. I just want to say there are many of us here who have multiple generations. And like Donald, our family's 5th generation, his is too. I know there are some here who are 7 generations. Leroy's and John's grandsons and granddaughters, yes, granddaughter Zoe, are now like 7th generation. So Donald has been here a long time. Let me just, before I say, turn the mic over to him, I just want to say, this is a day that we should all remember. Because I expect that in the whole history of Colorado, we have never had a United States Senator and the Governor of Colorado right here in our 2 counties. Let's give it up to Jared Polis, the great governor of our state. It's a big state, so he's on his way to Durango. Thank you for joining us. State Representative Donald Valdez.
Well, thank you. And thank you, Governor. It's great to have you here, and you're always welcome to come back. We love the San Luis Valley. We love where we're from. You know, and what do I say after Senator Hickenlooper and Ken Salazar and the Salazars? But to say thank you. Thank you to being here for our land, our water, and most important, our health. The aspect of being here today means a lot. But also we need to make sure we continue this for the next generation. And I want to thank the county commissioners here in Conejos County and also Costilla County. And here in Conejos is my home county that I love with my whole heart as I left Denver the other day. And coming back here home, the aspect of the beauty of not only the land, the water, but we're rich down here because of you, the people. And that's what makes the beauty of it. And we need to continue moving this forward for the next generation. For sustainability, now more than ever. You know, when I was coming up here, I kept thinking, what do I say? What do I say? But all I can say is thank you. Thank you for being here, especially the next generation, for my family, my friends, but also our neighbors. Neighbors on both sides of the county and throughout the state. And to the Salazars, I can't say enough, because you're dynamic, but also your faith, the family who continues to make sure that we have our rich beauty of our culture and heritage. So thank you to each and every one of you who have a part of this, and let's keep this going. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Donald. So we're going to hear from Mitch Jarvis. Mitch, if you'll make his way up here, I just want to say a couple things about him. So we knew his dad, Bruce. We knew his grandfather, Donald. We knew his great-grandfather. Some used to call him John. We used to call him Juan. So it's been debated whether my brother John was named after my grandfather or after Mitch's great-grandfather. But I have it on good authority that my brother John was named after our great-grandfather. But we're honored to have a wonderful and effective leader in Conejos County, longtime family friend, Mitch Jarvis.
Thank you, Ken. So real quick, I have to tell Ken, you know, he had to invite the dancers back up here because he was late. We all got to see it. But I do appreciate it. I appreciate the dance and the blessing, and we will definitely take any blessings that we can get and any prayers in our behalf, because we need them. We need them to represent well and to get through the times that we're in, and we do appreciate them. We appreciate everybody being here. The best county in the state. Steve gets to follow me so he can correct that. But we love Conejos County. They have it on, it's proven its best because everything's on this side of the river. So, no, I'm kidding. One thing that I really like that's been said here today, and I think that everybody could take a huge lesson from in the Valley, is the way that we get along as a people and we work together. I think everybody could take a lesson from that. We don't care, as Governor, I want to call you Governor, Hickenlooper said, we don't care if there's an R or a D in front of the name. We don't even look. When we go to the polls in this area for our local leaders, we know people, we know who will represent well, and that puts a bigger burden on us who are elected to do so. And so I hope you know how serious I take that and how serious the other commissioners that I work with take that. And we enjoy this and are so excited for this area. I do have to say, John, I don't know if you noticed when Ken introduced all of his brothers and sisters, he waited and he just called you Congressman. Did you notice that? I noticed that. So maybe you are my brother named after my great-grandfather. I don't know. We'll take you. But I do have to say as well, back in 1895, and not many people know this, but Albert W. McIntyre, governor of Colorado, was my fifth great-grandfather. So we have had representation from the Valley many years ago. But that was back in 1895, and he gave from his time and effort to serve and to be a part of Colorado, and I hope that I can do a part as well. But I would like to thank everybody. I wish, and I don't know, maybe they're going to do it. I've been on a commissioner for a little over 10 years, and I got to see the National Heritage Area begin. And I'm the longest standing board member right now on that board. But I wish real quick, and I don't know, Hugh, if could all the members currently and past from the National Heritage Area please stand up. Helen, Dennis, Anna, all of you. Please, I think that they need a big round of applause. I tell you guys what, it's been a rough go. It took a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of people getting along and wanting what was best for Conejos, Costilla, and Alamosa County to get the National Heritage Area going. And I do appreciate all of them and all of their time. Again, I thank all of you. Thank you for being out here in this beautiful area of the state. We were talking a little bit this morning. It's kind of the hidden secret of the state, which we don't want to keep it secret, but we do want to keep it sacred. We want to keep it protected. We want people to come and enjoy it and feel the strength that comes from this area. The one thing that I thought about, there's a hymn that we sing in our church. It says, "Firm as the mountains around us, stalwart and brave we stand, on the rocks our fathers planted for us in this goodly land." And I think that sums up the people that come from this area. They're firm, they're steadfast, they're strong, they're immovable. And we've got plenty of rocks and plenty of mountains, and we love it. And I again thank you all for being here.
Now, we have Steve Romero, Chairman of the County Commission, Costilla County, on his come up here, and on his way up, I want to just say a couple of things about another person who really has helped make all this effort happen, and that's Lawrence Pacheco. He has given his heart and his soul to this day. Thank you so much, and thank you for all that you've done on all the land protection and preservation matters. So, as I talk a little bit about Steve, I just want to say something about this river and this land. Right here, you're on public lands. So, let me see, Kathy Cook? Yes, sir. You know, she's the boss of this side of the river, kind of. You really are the bosses, but anyway, on that side of the river, it's all private lands. Now, there's a simple historical explanation for it. In 1848, the Mexican-American War was concluded with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. There's an article in that treaty, Article 10, Ron Drell will correct me if I'm wrong, Article 10 that says that the land of those who had lived here and their culture would be protected. And they had a path to citizenship if they wanted to stay here in the United States, or if they want to go to the new border of Mexico, they could go south. Well, obviously, our ancestors were not going to pull up stakes where they had been planting them for 250 years and go south, so they stayed here. There was a commission that was set up to recognize the land claims of the land grantees on both sides, well, all over the Southwest. And the commission determined that the Conejos land grant on this side of the river did not show the proof of validity. So this all became part of the federal estate. On the other side of the river is the Sangre de Cristo land grant, which was granted, I think, in 1843. And the people who settled San Luis were awarded the land grant. And that covered everything from the New Mexico line, even further south, all the way up to the Great Sand Dunes. So all that part of the river, or that side of the river, became private lands over time because the grantees were recognized at that point in time. So one of the big things that Costilla has always done, Costilla County, along with the people in San Luis and Fort Garland, is to celebrate that heritage. And they do it at the Cultural Center in San Luis. And we're delighted that the county commissioners have done so much. So let's give it up for the chair of the county commissioners, Steve. Mr. Romero.
Man, tough crowd to follow. You know, first thing I want to say is I come from a very diverse background, and I want to celebrate the diversity of peoples here. You know, I see the Native peoples, and I have Native American
ancestry, and I see, you know, the mariachi over there, and I have Spanish ancestry, and I think to myself, you know, no wonder I'm so confused. But I love the diversity of the people here, and one thing that we do have in common is land preservation and being having a symbiotic relationship with the land and the water. That's one thing that everybody shares regardless of your ancestry. And I brought a map, but I don't think Christina's going to let me open it right now. We're proposing a 1 cent sales tax this year in Costilla County for land preservation and wildlife habitat protection, and so that'll be on the ballot this fall. And so it's congruent with this project. And Rio, I'd like to thank you for all your work. And so one of the biggest proposals that we have is to create wildlife corridors that would come all the way from Culebra Peak that you see up there all the way to the Rio Grande as one contiguous migration corridor to let the animals that used to migrate, the elk, the deer, you know, the bears, the lions, even the buffalo. If we can restore the buffalo back to the plains, I think it would be an enormous feat for us, and allow them the corridors that they traditionally migrated from here in the north all the way down to Santa Fe and Albuquerque down in the south for winter habitat. And so it's a historical thing in Costilla County. And Mitch, you notice that they let Costilla County go last because they saved the best for last. I hate to break that to you, but we're doing more on our side than I think most people realize. And so if that sales tax passes, then we'll be able to go after matching funds and really go after some bigger monies to do some land and habitat protection. And I just wanted to let everybody know that, you know, on the ballot this year. So I hope all the people from Costilla County that are voters support that, and we'll be doing our part. So thank you for your time, and thank you for being here, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Romero. All right. Before we turn it to the President of Adams State, I want to hear from the BLM. So we are honored to have Kathy Cook here. We sometimes work a lot with Melissa Garcia, but Kathy Cook, who is with the BLM, who's responsible for doing a lot of what we've done, is here to represent the Department of the Interior. So let's give it up for Kathy Cook.
Welcome. Can you guys hear me okay? It's really tough to tell how well the microphone is working. Well, good afternoon. This is a very exciting day for the Bureau of Land Management and for the Adams State, the Del Norte Center. I would like to recognize our BLM employees that have been here. They've been here the last few days just protecting and ensuring that we have a beautiful day today. Could you guys for the BLM raise your hand, wave to us? We have a couple of our rangers out here with the parking situation. Thank you guys for helping us. It's a wonderful thing, these partnerships. The power of partnerships is why we're really here. There's no way that the BLM could do this kind of work on our own. So thank you so much. This ribbon cutting event, it also marks one of our major events for the 75th anniversary for the Bureau of Land Management. 2021, we're having our anniversary. It's been since 1946 when President Truman first merged the grazing service with the General Land Office to create the BLM. And since that time, we've been managing 245 million acres of public lands for the enjoyment of all Americans. Whether you're an R or a D, we don't care. We have so many visitors. And this signage, this parking area, this beautiful landscape will attract more and more people to this area. We also know that with those tourists, we need to provide more support. We can't do that without our partnerships, and I just wanted to thank everyone for that. In the San Luis Valley, our manager, Melissa Garcia, calling you out. She's a very hard-working manager. She manages over 500,000 acres for the BLM. So thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Dario. He's rooted in this community. We just brought him back from Craig, Colorado. assistant field manager for our office. These are your local contacts. Thank you, guys. Throughout history, the BLM has relied on our partners with the federal, the state, the local agencies, but also with the volunteers and the not-for-profits. You can see over there on that signage that says SLP Go. That's one of our really, really important partnerships. So today, thank you very much. Thank you to Adams State. Thank you to the Sangre de Cristo Natural Heritage Area. And thank you, Ken Salazar, because without you, we...
These days we can hug each other, at least according to CDC. And I know Kathy has her vaccine, and I do too, so hey, it's all good. Sometimes you see things as they are, and you say, was it always this way? Or you look at things in the future, and you say, in 50 years or 100 years, how will it be? In the case of Adams State University, we all should be asking ourselves the question, what would this valley be if we did not have Adams State University? And what can this valley become if we continue to create the greatness of Adams State? And we're honored to have a great leader with us today, the president of Adams State University, Cheryl Lovell. So we're almost done here. We're going to do just a couple of things. I want the greatest mariachi in the world, Mariachi San Luis, to get ready and fired up. And we will have the United States Senator Hickenlooper doing the ribbon cutting, joined by all the dignitaries and the Sangre de Cristo National Hair. All of you have been involved, join him over there to do the ribbon cutting. There is burritos from one of the greatest restaurants in the southern part of the valley, the Dutch Mill, over there by that table. So you grab a burrito. And looking at my watch, it is 12:30. So I would say 1 o'clock for whoever's going on the hike, to be led by Senator Hickenlooper. Maybe 1:10. 1 o'clock? Yeah, 1 o'clock, because we got to get him out. So 1 o'clock we'll meet down at the Lobatos Bridge for those of you who are taking the short history tour. And it's about a 20-minute drive from here on the Costilla County side of the river. So with that, let me conclude by saying thank you to all of you for making this possible. Senator Hickenlooper, if you will come up here for one last second. This book that was written by a number of different people is about the geology, ecology, and human history of the San Luis Valley. And our great leader here, Rio de la Vista, has a chapter in here. And I think I wrote the foreword, but it was done with Adams State University and some of their great people there. So, John, thank you for joining us today. Let's give him another round of applause. Let's go do the ribbon cutting. Mariachi San Luis, everybody. Mr. Gomez, Mr. Swift, todos ustedes. Vamos.
Public Lands Day.